Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, back in the saddle after about a 4 or 5 day absence. Mike Phillip was filling in for me. Hats off to Mike Phillip. He always does a more and more remarkable job each time. Gotta love Canada. Thanks a lot, Mike. You, the man. Joan Rivers back in the news. Joan Rivers' cause of death revealed. This from The Wrap, written by Linda Gee today. Joan Rivers officially died of a lack of blood oxygen to the brain in a, quote, predictable complication, unquote, of throat surgery, according to the New York City Medical Examiner's Office. The comedian, 81, died September 4th. She'd been rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital in New York after she stopped breathing while undergoing a procedure and was then placed in a medically induced coma. The findings were released Thursday in a statement by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, who said, "We have completed our investigation. The cause of Ms. Rivers' death is anoxic encephalopathy, which is fancy schmancy doctor talk for her brain swelled because of lack of oxygen. And the cause of this was the endoscopy and the medication that they gave her. So, you know, they stuck a camera down her throat and they medicated her. And the combination of the two cut off oxygen to her brain and she died. By the way, she was going in for an evaluation of gastroesophageal reflux, GERD, gastroesophageal reflux, and voice changes. The manner of death is a therapeutic complication. It's clinically classified, legally classified as a therapeutic complication, which means that the death resulted from a predictable consequence of medical therapy, and nobody goes to jail. Can you imagine what would happen if Joan Rivers had gone to a naturopathic physician or an acupuncturist or an Ayurvedic therapist and gotten one herb and it killed her? Well, we'd be, pilloried in the town square. They'd be throwing tomatoes and apples at us. We'd be hung at high noon. We'd be legally castrated. We'd be thrown to the wolves. We'd be abandoned on a desert island. We'd be thrown in jail. And the public press would be all over the incompetence of alternative medicine. And yet when the medical doctors, when the MD community kills somebody, kills literally, not figuratively, when they kill somebody during a routine medical procedure, they just wash their hands. Oh, it's collateral damage. It's par for the course. It's a dangerous world out there. We all just need to suck it up and move on. And this is nonsense. This is how inured we have become to the state of affairs of medicine in the United States, and how much we have been taught and socialized to genuflect abjectly at the feet of the almighty MD. And even when the MDs fail us, even when the MDs kill us, even when the MDs bankrupt us, even when the MDs harm us, we give them a pass. Unless there's, actual willful malice on the part of the MD, they on purpose gave her twice as much sedative as they knew she wanted, or they on purpose mixed a couple of drugs together in order to stop the heart or to stop breathing. Notwithstanding malice, everybody gets a pass, and quite frankly, even when there is malice, often we give them a pass. Joan Rivers dead from the complications of a medical procedure, which means her MDs killed her. And apparently everybody's okay with this, because I don't see anything on the news about the million-woman march on Mount Sinai Hospital. I don't see any uproar. I don't see any public consternation. I don't see any gnashing of the teeth or wringing of the hands. I don't see any mobilization of the masses. We all just sit in front of the TV, shake our heads back and forth, and eat more, drink more water that's been fluoridated, so our IQs become lowered, and so that we can become better sheeple people. I think that's the term that Alex Jones uses. I like it. Sheeple people. Well, this is where we are at, ladies and gentlemen. The best place to hide something is in plain sight. Your medical doctor may be the nicest human being God ever created, but your medical doctor does not know what's best for you. Your medical doctor only knows what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is just one tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It's referred to as allopathic reductionism. Your medical doctor does not practice medicine. They practice allopathic medicine. Allopathic medicine is best suited for trauma care and surgery when it's absolutely positively necessary. This is the wheelhouse of the medical doctor. You wouldn't go to a chiropractor if you had a bullet in your arm. You wouldn't go to a chiropractor or a massage therapist or an Ayurvedic practitioner or an acupuncturist if you had a piece of shrapnel lodged in your thigh or a bleeding artery. They are the wrong dog for that hunt, the wrong physicians for that particular set of conditions. Well, in the same manner that it would be a fool's errand to bring your body to a chiropractor's office if you were bleeding to death, it's also a fool's errand to bring your body to the office of an MD if you're suffering with a chronic disease, because your medical doctor is 100% incapable of helping you to cure your disease. Case in point, GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, which Ms. Rivers was being treated for, ostensibly diagnosed, a diagnostic procedure done to see the extent of the damage of GERD. Gastroesophageal reflux, that's fancy schmancy doctor talk for heartburn gone, bad. Heartburn breaking bad. It's bad heartburn. Gastroesophageal reflux, the MDs have absolutely no conceptual ideation of what causes it, and so their treatment strategy is just to manage it. All we have to do is manage it, right? Can't cure it because we don't know what causes it, so we're going to manage it with Prilosec. We're going to manage it with proton pump inhibitors. We're going to manage it with antacids, and then when it gets really bad, we're going to cut your throat out, and then when it gets really bad or still, we're going to cut your stomach out. That's how conventional medicine deals with it. These people don't even know what causes heartburn, and they are incapable of curing heartburn. How successful do you think they're going to be at curing cancer? Well, as we talked about at the beginning of this month, not that successful. I'm going to bring up the stats right now. We're going to go through them one more time. And you can watch these stats live by going to the drgliddinshow.tv, the drgliddinshow.tv. We are streaming right now on YouTube. You want to join the live chat in the stream, go to the drgliddinshow.tv. This is Cancer Awareness Month. The breast cancer survival rate. This is the 5-year survival rate, right? Only 23% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer survive after the 5th year of treatment. The 4th year of treatment was 29%. So it goes from 29% to 23% in 1 year. What do you think it's going to be by year 10? 0. Which means, again, the MDs, we've given our trust to the MDs and the pharmaceutical industry, and they are no closer to a cure for cancer than they were 40 years ago or however long ago it was when Richard Nixon started the war on cancer in the mid-70s. So, breast cancer statistics unbelievably piss poor. Colon cancer survival even worse. The 5-year survivorship for colon cancer, 11% of people who have had colon cancer are going to die. Esophageal cancer caused by gastroesophageal reflux, sitting down, got your seatbelt fastened. The 5-year survival rate, 4%. 4% of people who go to the MDs with throat cancer are dead 5 years after, or are still alive. It's 5 years after the treatment, which means that 96% of people with throat cancer die. 96% of people with throat cancer die. So, this begs the question, well, with this unbelievably piss-poor record, why was Joan Rivers even visiting a medical doctor to begin with? Because heaven forbid she did have throat cancer. They got nothing for her. Well, what they have for her is expensive treatment. They know that she's rich. They know that she's got good medical insurance, ostensibly. I'm assuming that she did. So the intention of the medical doctor is not to cure the cancer. The intention of the medical treatment is to milk the patient for as much money as the system possibly can while they deliver such unbelievably ineffective treatment strategies. Kidney cancer survival rate, 10% after 5 years. 10%. In the first year, by the way, it's only 36%. 36% are still alive after the first year. By the end of 5 years, only 10%. Unbelievably ineffective treatments, and yet they are rolled out every single solitary day because they are gigantic moneymakers. Last but not least, pancreatic cancer, 2%. Survival rate, 2% survival rate after 5 years, a 31% survival rate after 6 months. And this is what we have all become proponents of. We love our MDs so much. We give the MDs so much credit. Oh, my medical doctor went to Harvard. My medical doctor went to Tufts. My medical doctor works at Scripps. My medical doctor works wherever at Rush Memorial in Chicago. Oh, aren't they the greatest? Well, apparently not. Statistics don't lie. If you were a baseball player or a football player or a golfer or a hockey player and you had these type of numbers, your contract would be ejected. You would be terminated. You would be kicked off of the professional sporting team. But when it comes to medicine, we're all inside the matrix, following the Machiavellian, mediocre MD down the road to our ruin. Don't do what Joan Rivers did. Instead, fire your medical doctor now and educate yourself about the wonders of medical nutrition. Stick around. Let's hit the phones hard. Phones are ringing off the hook, as they do every day here on the Dr. Glidden Show. Let's go to Tennessee and talk to Nancy. Hey, Nancy, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, thanks for being there. I'm calling about my grandson, who is almost 2, and I've called you before about his sleep issues, which is doing better. But he's got some acne that keeps coming back on his face. It's a real deep, bumpy stuff that has a hard core, and then he's also starting to get it on his legs. It's almost like a boil, but they're not really huge.
How old is the child?
He's 21 months old.
Well, the two things are related. The sleep problem and the skin problem undoubtedly are related because they're both probably, the first thing to consider, right, in the diagnostic, array is a blood sugar issue. It's a blood sugar issue because when blood lingers, or when sugar lingers too long in the blood, the bacteria that are just naturally present in the skin will be fed and the immune system will be suppressed. Immune system, sugar puts the immune system to sleep. That's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't understand. Drinking orange juice if you have a head cold or the flu is one of the worst things that anybody can do. I don't know who started that cultural myth, but it is a big bad voodoo daddy. If you are suffering with an illness, you want to avoid sugar in all of its forms. Remember, your DNA is made from sugar. That's why, you're so sweet. We couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Sugar is not the problem. The problem is how much sugar are we taking into the body and when are we taking it into the body, and does the body have the resources necessary to metabolize it? So I would argue that this child has a borderline, diabetic situation going on here. The recommendation would be, well, how much does he weigh? Probably, 20 pounds?
25.
Yeah. So he would take a quarter of the dose every month, and I would start him with one Dr. Glidden pack and one a bottle of Sweeties. And the Dr. Glidden pack, of course, is shorthand that I use for the following combination of supplements. The Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one of those, one bottle of plant-derived minerals, and 2 bottles of selenium. That's one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one bottle of plant-derived minerals, and 2 bottles of selenium. and 1 bottle of Ultimate Digestive Enzymes, but the child should not need the Ultimate Digestive Enzymes. As a replacement for the enzymes, I would give him the root beer belly. I would give the child the root beer belly. And 1 bottle of Sweeties. 1 bottle of Sweeties per 100 pounds of body weight per month. It's a good program for this child, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Was he breastfed, do you know?
Yes.
Okay.
And he still is.
Still is, yeah. So the mother needs to be taking the supplements as well. The mother needs to be eliminating extra sugar from her diet. The mother needs to be on the 10 bad foods or away from the 10 bad foods. If the mother follows the diet, then that will transpose through the milk into the child's body. And then when the child gets the supplements, there should be a slow and steady improvement over time. That's what I would do for 90 days. I'm pretty sure this is a blood sugar issue, mismanaged again by ineffective MD Therapeutics. Thanks for the call, Nancy. We're up against a commercial break. Stick around, folks. More to come. Hey, Steve. Thanks for the call. You are live.
Yes, how are you, Dr. Glidden?
Oh, fine, thanks. God willing and the creek don't rise, I'll get better. Thanks for the call.
Thank you very much for taking my call. I was calling because I have a friend. We've been listening to your DVDs and reading up on you and everything. And he decided to go with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack because he's had some heart bypass done to his heart.
Oh, yeah.
And and he was concerned that once he starts getting healthier and all that, if his arteries start unblocking, that if the extra arteries would be a problem somehow for his heart, for his pressure. And I don't even know if it's a valid question. It's just, I guess I don't really understand how, when they do a bypass, is the old artery still there? Is it still, I guess, on the heart or...
Well, these are great questions, and really what it speaks to, and I will answer it for you because it's a really easy thing to visualize and to understand. But again, it speaks volumes to the fact that his medical doctors didn't tell him about the procedure. I mean, they didn't bring him up to speed with it. They didn't tell him what the hell they were going to do. They didn't walk him through it. They might have given him a cursory kind of understanding, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know what they did, right? And this is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. You know, and it's tantamount, right, to going, you want to buy a car, right? So you go to, a giant car sales lot, giant. They've got 10,000 automobiles there, and you buy the first one that the car salesman shows you without question. You just get in it, give him a check, and drive away. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Nobody. But that's always what we do when we go to the MDs. We don't ask the right questions. The MD is not going to tell us of their own volition what the heck they're going to do to us, because most people wouldn't do it if the MD told us what they were going to do. And this is a big problem. Again, it speaks to the inherent corruption in a system which has become, a monopoly. Right. I mean, it's like the Roman Empire destined to fail. Central American dictatorships, Southeast Asian dictatorships destined to fail because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this is just the way that it is. And this is what's happening with medicine as it's delivered all around the world now, especially here in North America and the European Union. The MDs just don't tell people what they're going to do. People are completely uneducated about it, and they just give themselves over to the MD because they incorrectly believe that their medical doctor has the secret decoder ring to all things medical, and that the medical doctor knows what's best for them. And sometimes they do, but most of the times they don't. And it's just a crying shame, man. But again, right? I mean, when everybody in the world does this, it becomes the new norm, right? Nobody asks their MD. Oh, they just go to the MD, and the nicer the waiting room in the hospital, the nicer the artwork that's on the wall, the nicer tie that the medical doctor has, or the pair of shoes that they wear. That's the thing that wins them over to the MD rather than an enumeration or an elucidation of the therapeutics. And it's a crazy social mindset that has evolved here, and it drives me up a freaking wall every time I see people go in for these ridiculous therapeutics without question. It's just, it just blows my mind how people would do that. So, to answer the question, there are two different therapeutics that the MDs use when someone is suffering from a blocked artery, especially if it's in the heart or going to the heart or around the heart, adjacent to the heart. One therapeutic is to insert something called a stent. And a stent is like those Chinese finger traps. You know, you stick one finger in one end of it and one finger in the other end of it, and you pull it and it tightens up. You can't get your fingers out. Well, it's kind of like that except reverse. So it's a little tube that the surgeon will insert into an artery that's been all gummed up with cholesterol. And when they, after the tube is inserted, there's a little mechanism that's activated which makes the tube expand. So, you know, it's like putting, there's no really good metaphor. Even plumbers don't have anything like this. So, but the intention of the stent is to artificially increase the internal diameter of the blocked artery, right? And it effectively squishes the blockage between the wall of the stent and the wall of the artery, right? It artificially dilates from the inside the diameter of the artery. Now, a stent is a mechanical device, and it does absolutely nothing to the physiological process which made the cholesterol or the plaque or the calcium deposit in the first place. It does nothing. It does nothing to the physiological process that made the artery get clogged up in the first place. It's just a mechanical diameter maker. You know, it increases the internal diameter of the artery. Now, stents fail after about 5 years. And again, it's the rare surgeon that's going to tell the cardiac patient that the stent is going to fail in 5 years. I don't know why they don't tell them that, but they all do. Because again, the stent does nothing to get to the root cause of the illness. It's like painting over the mold in the basement, right? It's only a matter of time until the whole wall of the house falls off because the mold has gotten so bad and the rot's gotten so bad. You can't just paint over it. It's going to get worse. Well, the stent is like painting over the mold. So that's kind of it's a ridiculous therapeutic in my opinion, number one. Number two, a bypass is where they harvest a blood vessel from your leg, usually from your leg. Well, they'll take out a vein or an artery from your leg. It's usually a vein that they take out. And then they'll stick it into the heart. They'll put one end of it into the heart, and the other end they sew into one of the other blood vessels in your heart that's not so clogged. And the intention here is to increase the blood flow to the heart. Now, a very interesting thing happened. Years ago, when this procedure was first started, the bypass surgery, they did a very interesting experiment. And since they did this experiment, they passed laws making this experiment illegal, and inquiring minds want to know why. They took a number of patients who were, they told they were going to have a bypass surgery. They had all the signs and symptoms of, bad hearts. And they knocked them out with general anesthesia. They cut their chest open, and then they sewed them back up, and they did absolutely nothing to the heart. The vast majority of the people that they did that to got better. They after the surgery and for years after, they were completely better. There was all of their signs and symptoms were gone, and they were as good as people who had actually gotten the bypass surgery, right? This really is where the term, the placebo effect, really kind of got legs, right? Because in clinical settings, the placebo was kind of this, this thing in the background that maybe was there sometimes, but it could never ever, the placebo effect could never ever possibly be present for something as big as open heart surgery, but guess what? It was. So there's a lot of stuff going on here when they cut somebody's chest open and just when somebody psychologically prepares for a surgical procedure. But nonetheless, the bypass surgery, the physiological thing that happens there, they harvest a vein from your leg and they punch one end of it into your heart and sew it in there, and they punch the other end into an artery that has good blood in it that's not blocked up so much, and they sew it in there to increase the blood flow to the heart. Neither of these two procedures does anything whatsoever to get to the root cause of why the artery got blocked in the first place. Nothing. They do nothing to fix the problem because, again, remember, the MD believes that it's either unfixable or that it's a genetic thing that's so unbelievably freaking complicated that nobody in their right mind is ever going to be able to figure it out. And, eventually what they're going to want to do is just give everybody a fake heart. Let's wait until the boys at Apple or the boys at Microsoft invent, the next generation of artificial hearts and artificial veins and arteries, and then we'll give everybody those, and that's how they're going to eliminate heart disease, right? And it's a fool's errand. So, taking medical nutrition, if you have a stent or a bypass surgery, is going to do zero harm. It's going to do zero harm. And if you follow our lead, we believe that we have a solution towards which is a rational solution, which effectively gets to the root cause of what's causing the arteries to get all jammed up in the first place, right? It's oxidative damage. Oxidative damage to the central circulatory system causes inflammation in the walls of the arteries, and inflammation in the walls of the arteries causes the deposition of cholesterol in order to heal the wall of the artery, and this is our fundamental working belief. So the strategy here to support and promote the cardiovascular system would be one healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 100,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day, 100,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day, and one bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per 200 pounds per month. One bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per 200 pounds per month. I don't care how you get the ORAC into the body. 100,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day on top of the healthy brain and heart pack. There is no harm and no foul here for doing any of these things in downstream of these medical procedures. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The unbelievably impotent, ineffective, Machiavellian, for-profit, mediocre cancer treatments that the MDs have rolled out. Are you kidding me? So, they knew years ago that they weren't even close to a cure, so they had to make themselves look good somehow, so they came up with the 5-year survival plan. So now they can legally tell a patient, if you've got breast cancer, well, if I were you, I would get on board with this program because the 5-year survivorship is decent in my opinion. And the patient doesn't know what that means. The patient has no idea what that means, and it's the rare oncologist that's going to lay it out for them. The oncologist will incorrectly tell them, there aren't any other treatments anywhere in the world that can cure cancer. What are you going to do? Do a coffee enema? I was actually in the room with a patient who was considering standard chemo and radiation and conventional medical treatment for pancreatic cancer. And the oncologist actually looked at the guy and said, well, the results that we have with pancreatic cancer are less than stellar, but what are you going to do, a coffee enema? It was like that. So this is how they sell to people. They sell to people based on fear. They sell to people based on fear, and there ought to be a law. It should be mandatory that there are patient advocates which sit between, the oncologist and the patient to help the patient separate the wheat from the chaff. Here it is again, if you're watching on the live stream. Pancreatic cancer survival rate with regular treatment. Hold on, let me just make sure I get my statistics correct here. Yeah, with regular treatment, it's 31% after the first 6 months, which means 31%. So that's 79% of pancreatic cancer patients die in the first 6 months. 79%. 79%. That's with treatment. 79% die with treatment. 79% die with treatment. After 1 year, 86% of people with treatment die. After 2 years, 95% of people with treatment die. And after 5 years, 98% of people with treatment die. Now, would it not be good for you to have a business where the product that you sold failed 98% of the time and people still bought it? I mean, even, that's 5 years down the road. You can make the argument, well, there's built-in, what's it called, when things fail, built-in systems failures. But how about 6 months? Would a 78% failure rate in the first 6 months of ownership be okay with you? If you bought a brand new automobile, you spent $100,000 on an automobile, you spent $50,000 on an automobile, you spent $30,000 on an automobile. Are you going to be okay that 70%, 78% of those automobiles are going to blow up or just completely stop working after 6 months? You wouldn't be okay with that. But that's the pill that we've swallowed in the wonderful upside-down, inside-out world of Machiavelli and mediocre for-profit MD-directed medicine. It's nuts. Quite frankly, it is nuts. And there are more and more MDs, thank God, who are starting to raise their head up from the herd and say, you know what, Glidden's right. Cancer treatment sucks. It doesn't work, and we need to go somewhere else. More and more people are doing this. But you know what they're not going to do? They're not going to eschew their medical training. They're not going to give up their medical license. They're not going to feel any bit of shame whatsoever in having aligned themselves with a profession, which is the leading cause of bankruptcy, the leading cause of death in the United States, and under whose tutelage Alzheimer's, cancer, heart disease, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, autism, et cetera, have skyrocketed. They're not ever going to give up their precious medical license, even though it is a direct indication, it is a badge of dishonor, quite frankly, which tells everybody that that's the team that they rooted for. That's the team that they supported, the team that screwed everything up. Instead of saying, you know what, that team sucks, I'm not going to play for this team anymore, I can't even be affiliated with an organization like this anymore, I'm going to become an naturopath, I'm going to become an acupuncturist, I'm going to become a homeopath. No, they can't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the integrity? This is what I want you to ask yourself. Where is the integrity? I'll tell you where it is. It's right here in Longevity Nation. Hour 2 coming up. Don't even think about touching that dial. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live edition of the Dr. Glidden Show. We have a robust live chat going that you can become a member of simply by going to the DrGlidden show.tv, the Dr. Glidden show.tv. Become a member of the worldwide live chat where there are now 104 people from all around the world talking about holistic health. It's awesome. Allie posts a question. She says, I'd like to see a graph showing when they moved the goalpost on acceptable treatment outcomes. I tried to suss that, to source that. It's very difficult to find when the American Cancer Society adopted that language. It's difficult because, they don't want people to understand that this is a new thing that they've adopted in order to divert attention away from their unbelievably horrible treatment outcomes. If anybody in the listening audience has access to that information, I need it. When did the American Cancer Society develop the 5-year survival methodology? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm going to read you one more question from the chat room. Johanna says, I've had multiple sclerosis for 28 years, and I'm stable with the MS. I had rotator cuff surgery 2 years ago, and I'm still trying to get to my feet because of the long recovery in bed. I'm actively going to physical therapy and swimming to build the muscles to gain the strength, stand and walk. I've only been on the Mighty 90 for 6 months. What additional nutrients to rebuild muscles and to get to my feet do I need? So the recommendation here for general all-purpose, all-around nutritional support per month is one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. One of those. It's called the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. We need one of those. One bottle of plant-derived minerals. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, and 1 bottle of Ultimate Digestive Enzymes, Ultimate Enzymes, per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And that's a really good foundation program for, across the board support, right? Because the body is a complex integrated system, and all of the systems of the body need the 90 essential nutrients, and this is a really excellent way to give your body, in a comprehensive, holistic manner, all 90 essential nutrients. Now, once you've got those bases covered, in this case, you would just need extra support for muscle strength, and your muscles are made from protein. Proteins are made from amino acids, so Youngevity has a stacked amino acid supplement. It's called HGH Youth Complex. The recommendation, 1 or 2 bottles of HGH Youth Complex a month. 1 or 2 bottles of HGH Youth Complex a month. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 2 things here at the same time. We're filling up the body's nutritional tank with the appropriate nutritional supplements in the right recipes, in the right amounts, right, appropriate for your body weight. We're filling your body's nutritional tank. While we're pouring the nutritional supplements into your body, you want to be eliminating food from your diet that punches holes in the bottom of your nutritional tank, so to speak. Because it's a fool's errand if you're pouring water into a bucket that has holes in it, right? You're always going to be playing catch up. So, in addition to the appropriate healthy pack and the appropriate supplementation, it is mandatory, not optional. You must eliminate the 10 bad foods from your diet. Just trust us. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. And if you do those 2 things concurrently, you should notice remarkable improvement every 2 to 3 months, okay? And you can get the 10 bad food list for free by going to my website, drglidden.com, and signing up for the free newsletter. It's right there on the front page. Check it out, drglidden.com. Atlanta's up next with Denise calling about cataracts. Hey, Denise, thanks for the call. You are live. Come in, Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise in Atlanta. I was calling. I've got cataracts on one of my eyes, and I needed to know what I needed to do for it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I've seen cataracts resolve, and sometimes I haven't seen cataracts resolve. There's really too many variables at play there. I've always seen blood sugar issues resolve, and I've always seen arthritic issues resolve. I've never not seen those conditions resolve. Cataracts, sometimes yes, sometimes no. The idea behind the formation of a cataract, as far as I'm concerned and members of the holistic community are concerned, we believe that the lens in the eye gets cloudy because of a process called oxidative damage. It's ironically the same process that makes iron turn to rust, right? Or it makes food go bad. It's oxidative damage. And oxidative damage, Denise, is everywhere all the time. It's just a function of life. However, there are things that we can do to reduce our exposure to oxidative damage and to increase the body's ability to fight oxidative damage. The body has a fire department. Most people don't know that. The body has a police department, of course. That's the immune system, and everybody's heard about the immune system, but very few people are aware of the body's fire department. It doesn't actually have a name, but the body does have a very active mechanism at play all of the time that it uses to put out the fires of inflammation caused by oxidative damage, oxidative stress. So to support the body's fire department would be a smart thing to do if you're suffering from cataracts. And the best way to do that is by supplementing your diet with selenium, the trace mineral selenium. Selenium is like the captain of the body's fire department. It goes a long way towards putting out the fires of inflammation by upregulating a nutrient in the body or biochemical in the body called glutathione. But in any event, the recommendation here is 1 bottle of Youngevity's Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed 4 bottles a month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and I don't want you to take more than 4 bottles a month. Now, in addition to that, it would be prudent to take the comprehensive 90 essential nutrients into your body, because everything works together, and we are proponents and devotees of the holistic method, because that's the way that God made the body. Everything is connected. And so even though the focus of, discomfort here or trouble here is the lens of the eye, we have to give the body everything that it needs, because everything's connected, right? Everything's connected. So in addition to the selenium, the recommendation would be 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. It's called 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. And 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Now, the last thing for you to do, once you've done those 2 things, is to secure through food, through beverage, and maybe through nutritional supplements, consumption of stuff that's high in antioxidants. Because antioxidants are like the water that the fire department uses to put out the fires of inflammation. So you need to be eating food that's high in antioxidants and drinking stuff that's high in antioxidants and taking nutritional supplements that are high in antioxidants. And antioxidants are measured by something called an ORAC score. That's ORAC. The recommendation here would be 100,000 ORAC points a day of antioxidants by hook or by crook. Now, if you want to find out how to do that in an easy way, a free way, go to freedoctorbook.com. That's easy to remember. freedoctorbook.com. And you can download the book that I wrote for free. You can have it for free. It used to be $20. I'm giving it away for free now. You can have my book for free in an electronic version, which you will download immediately to your computer. And in my book, I have a whole chapter or 2 on antioxidants and what foods are high in them and how to get them into your body, and it's free. So freedoctorbook.com, read up on antioxidants, because you need 100,000 of them a day, 100,000 ORAC points a day, plus the selenium, plus the plant-derived minerals and the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, and elimination of the 10 bad foods. Now, from our point of view, the main culprit here in the genesis of, cataract formation is fried food and oil in a bottle. And somebody should do a statistical survey of which people in the United States get cataracts the most. And I'd bet $100 right now that it would be people who lived in the Old South, the old Confederate South, because, in the South, you folks, you eat fried food. I mean, if you could fry water, you would in the Old South. It's just such a natural part of your life. And as far as we're concerned, fried food is a big bad voodoo daddy. And that crap's going to kill you. But before it kills you, it's going to give you cataracts. It's going to give you arthritis. It's going to give you cancer. It's going to slowly whittle away at your health. So you must stop eating 10 foods, 2 of which are oil in a bottle and fried food. And again, you'll get that list for free when you download my book, freedoctorbook.com. So eliminate the 10 bad foods, Denise. 100,000 ORAC of antioxidants a day and the nutritional supplements that I outlined. And I would do that for 6 months. I would do that for 6 months before I even thought about having cataract surgery. Keep your fingers crossed and see what happens. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, I did. It does.
Okay, Denise, I appreciate your support. Now get with the person that told you about this radio station and find out how you can get the supplements at the wholesale price. And also they will give you advice about how to take them, because that's what we do. We exist as a grassroots coalition of the informed, people all around the world who've drawn a line in the sand and said, you know what, this far and no further, I'm done. You can take your drugs and shove them. I'm going with holistic medicine all of the way. And if you want to come for that ride too, hop in the bus, brother. Hop on the bus, sister. We are going to the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Stick around. Let's go to New Brunswick and talk to Catherine. Hey, Catherine, thanks for the call. You are live.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Where in New Brunswick are you?
I'm in Bathurst, New Brunswick.
Oh, very nice. Has it started snowing there yet?
Thank God, no.
Any day now, though, right?
I don't say that. Give me at least till December.
All right, I'm rubbing it in. All right, I appreciate your phone call, Catherine. What's up?
Okay, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she has scoliosis. When she was younger, they said she had that, and I took her to a doctor immediately, and I didn't know anything about that at that time, and he said she'll outgrow it. Now
He actually said she'll outgrow it?
Yes.
Yeah, and she did not outgrow it, right?
And it's sort of, now she's older. She's 38 years old. And she says it's curving, and so I wasn't
so you want to write a letter to the Board of Medicine in New Brunswick and say, look, I went to a doctor years ago and he told me she'd outgrow it. It's absolutely positively wrong, and I want an investigation, because if this guy's that stupid, God only knows what else he's told other patients, and he needs to be removed from medical care. He needs to be removed.
They won't do anything here. I tried to sue the hospital for myself, because I went in the hospital because the doctor was insisting that I take a bone scan, and I told her nothing was wrong with me, and they did it on me, and they left me tied up, and they tied me into a contortionist and left me 45 minutes, and it has hurt me.
Unbelievable. How long ago did that happen?
That happened about 15 years ago, and I tried to sue, and the lawyer was always enthused about it. And then he says no. They said no. You have to be a vegetable first.
Yeah. So, when you have a license to kill and you're, the leader of the medical monopoly, you can do whatever the heck you want, and this is a problem. So, scoliosis, as far as we're concerned, and this is not a leap, right? This is not a gigantic intellectual leap. We need bone and joint and ligament and muscle support, because the bones, joints, ligaments, and muscles they're not functioning the way that nature and God intended them to. And virtually 100% of the time when structures like these fail in the body, it's not because of a weird genetic stress. It's simply because of nutrient deficiencies. It's no different than your car. Your car runs out of engine oil, the engine seizes. There's nothing mechanically wrong with the engine. The welds are good, the metal's good, the pistons are good. It ran out of oil, and so it seized up. Well, same thing with the body. Nutrient deficiencies, especially minerals, are at the root cause of most chronic diseases. So the recommendation here is bone, joint, ligament, and muscle support. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, based on 25 years of clinical experience, is per 100 pounds of body weight per month, do the following. And if she's 150 pounds, you want to give her a 200-pound dose. If she's 100 pounds, you give her a 150-pound dose. You always go up a little bit, okay?
Oh, you round it up. Okay.
Round it up. Okay. So per 100 pounds per month, the recommendation is 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. That's a Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. One of those.
That's that.
1 bottle of plant-derived minerals. 1 plant-derived minerals. 2 bottles of selenium. In the catalog, it's called Ultimate Selenium. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. And that's it. Now, on top of that, we do glucogel capsules, and we dose the glucogel capsules at 1 capsule per 10 pounds per day. 1 capsule per 10 pounds per day. So if she's 120 pounds, she needs 12 glucogel a day. 12 times 30 is 360, right? So you'd have to figure out how many bottles to get to hit that number. Now, in addition to this, Catherine, eliminate the 10 bad foods. She can get that list for free on my website, and have her find a certified practitioner of Physiodynamics, PHYSIO Dynamics, Physiodynamics for physical medicine on top of the medical nutrition. Thanks for the support. Stick around, folks. More to come. Nadru from California is back. Nadru, where have you been?
Well, let's see. Last time I looked, last time I saw you, we were posing together at the summit. So
in Las Vegas, yeah, that was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
1,100, I think, 1,100, 1,200 people there.
Yeah, and listen, I just want to say, it's been a real uplifting for me as far as helping people, getting the people the truth, and those who want to hear the truth, and those who want to be better. That's the kind of people we're looking for.
Yeah, I know, and it is, and I can't. We don't talk. We get bogged down in the details, and we kind of don't talk enough about the real draw that there is here in this type of work. It's helping people. I mean, because if you do this correctly, you can actually save somebody's life. I mean, you can actually do that. It's not figuratively. You can literally do that. And even if you never actually save somebody's life, which I would be startled if that never happened, you're going to help so many people just to increase the quality of their life that it is an extremely rewarding thing to do. There's nothing better than helping somebody eliminate needless, useless suffering. It's an awesome thing to do, and that's why, longevity is growing as quickly as it is, and it's really a great group of people to hang out with.
Yeah, and we're going to actually spread it so big out here in Southern California, especially in the better part of Los Angeles, But anyway, I have two questions here. I actually called yesterday, and you weren't there. So one was for my husband. He actually has he's an athlete, and he's a no pain, no gain kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
But he actually he's taking everything. What he's done now is that he's pulled there's the ligament near his calf, right there at the calf, going up to not quite the knee. A lot of pain. And
yeah,
so,
same thing happened to my fiance 3 days ago at Jazzercise. Same thing happened. Yeah, same thing. Uh-huh. She's out of pain. It took like 36 hours, and the pain's gone. So I'll tell you exactly what to do.
Okay.
CM cream liberally to the area of the pain. CM cream liberally to the area of the pain. And when he's at home hanging out watching TV, ice for 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Okay. 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off. 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
Okay.
He shouldn't need to do that for more than a day. But he wants to apply the CM cream liberally every 3 hours for the next 3 days, whether he feels pain or not. CM cream every 3 hours for the next 3 days while he's awake, whether he feels pain or not. He needs to take 2 extra ounces of the liquid calcium a day, 2 extra ounces of the liquid calcium a day, and the glucogel capsules appropriate for body weight. Glucogel capsules appropriate for body weight.
Okay. And then I have a lady.
Whoa! I'm not done. There's one more thing. It's the secret homeopathic sauce here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's homeopathic Ruta graveolens. That's R like Robert, U, T like Thomas, A like Apple, Ruta. Second word, graveolens. G like Gottfried, R, A, V like Victor, E like Edward, O, L like Larry, E like Edward, N like Nancy, S like Sam. Graveolens. Get it in the 200C or the 1M strength, please. 200C or the 1M strength. And take 3 pellets 3 times a day for 3 days orally. 3 pellets 3 times a day orally. If he does those 3 things, then he should get on the other side of this rapidly.
Is this an oil?
No, this is a little homeopathic medicine. Now, in the health food store, in the vitamin section, you'll be able to find, there's a little plastic shelf with homeopathic medicines, and the homeopathic medicines are dispensed in small tubes. I'm holding one up here to the audience on the live stream. It's a small tube. There's about 100 little white medicated pellets inside it. It costs about between $5 and $10, depending on where you get it.
Right.
And take 3 pellets orally 3 times a day for 3 days. Homeopathy is awesome. I'm going to do an entire webinar on homeopathy to bring people up to speed with it. Before I started practicing medical nutrition with Dr. Wallach, I dabbled with medical nutrition, but honestly, everybody who hasn't mentored with Dr. Wallach is dabbling with medical nutrition, because Dr. Wallach's medical nutrition is the real deal. And unless you're doing it with him, you're not really doing it. You're just kind of doing you're playing for the seconds or the third string, not the first string. So, but before I started doing medical nutrition with Doc, I was a classical homeopath. I used homeopathic medicine as my main intervention for 15 years. And homeopathy is awesome. It's tricky, but it's awesome. And the properly prescribed homeopathic medicine for an acute illness can go a long, long way towards remarkably speeding up the recovery time. But the trick with homeopathy is you have to hit the bullseye with the treatment. If the root of graveolens is not the right homeopathic remedy here, nothing's going to happen. Nothing bad will happen, but nothing good will happen either. If it is the correct homeopathic remedy, he'll have a remarkable turnaround in a relatively short amount of time.
Wow. Thank you. Now, I have a lady, she's got sciatic nerve.
Yeah, so the first thing to consider about the sciatic nerve is, it's a big honking fat nerve. It's one of the biggest nerves in the body. It's either the first or the second biggest nerve in the body. And it goes from the spinal cord, from your pelvis, through your butt muscles, down your leg, and it feeds your leg. It's the main nerve that makes everything in below your waist work. And of course, you've got 2 of them, one in each leg. But one of the main causes of sciatica is as the sciatic muscle leaves the spinal cord in your pelvic area, it goes right through the middle of a couple of your butt muscles. It's pancaked between 2 or 3 butt muscles. And if those butt muscles are contracted, constricted, spasmed out, even just a little bit, then it's going to press on the sciatic nerve and it's going to cause sciatic pain. Another cause of sciatic pain is degenerative disc disease in the low back. It's either one of the two. It's either degenerative disc disease in the low back or chronic muscle spasticity in the butt. And for muscle spasticity, we give extra magnesium, extra calcium and magnesium. So the recommendation would be on top of the Healthy Pack, the Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid, the Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. On top of that, we give 1 bottle of Cal Toddy a month, 1 bottle of Cal Toddy a month. And if the discs are in play, then we use glucogel appropriate to speed. And I'm recommending, don't know if you know this, but you probably do, but in addition to the Healthy Pack, everybody gets 1 bottle of plant minerals per month, 1 bottle of plant minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's pretty important. All right. And whenever you're up against something with muscle spasticity, it's a muscle cramp, like bad menstrual cramps, or, your eyelids are twitching, or you've got, sciatica or something related with calf muscle cramping at night in bed, you lean on the Cal Toddy, rather than the Beyond Osteo Effects. Or in a perfect world, you can just mix the two. Just mix the two. So that's how we do that. It should be relatively easy to get on the other side of that, no kidding. And also, here's a little clinical pearl. Often people with sciatica will experience remarkable relief by taking a hot bath in Epsom salts. A hot bath in Epsom salts. Put 2 2 pounds, not 1 pound, 2 pounds of Epsom salts in one bathtub of hot water and soak in that for 15, 20 minutes. Drink your Beyond Tangy Tangerine with the plant minerals while you're in the bathtub sweating, right? Because Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and it's magnesium, and the magnesium absorbs through your skin and will help to relax the muscles. And that's actually one kind of, down and dirty, semi-diagnostic determinant of whether the sciatica is a muscle cramping problem or it's a degenerative disc problem. Because if you do the hot Epsom salts bath and there's no change whatsoever in the sciatica, then it's a disc problem. But if it does get better, temporarily, then it's the muscle thing, and that's how we roll.
Okay. Thank you so much. See you at convention.
All right. Yeah, Nadru, right? Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay. You have a good day.
Keep up the good work, Nadru. You are a lifesaver to everybody in Southern California. And this is how it is, folks. This is the bitter truth. This is the bitter end. This is the reality that people don't talk about in polite circles. We don't have a free medical market here, not only in the United States. We don't have a free medical market in Canada. We don't have a free medical market in the European Union. We do not have a free medical market in Europe, Australia, or New Zealand. We don't. The medical market has been dominated for the last 100 years by the pharmaceutical industry and the MDs. And while we have let them monopolize the marketplace, while we have allowed them to kick out the naturopaths and the homeopaths and the herbalists, the acupuncturists, the traditional Chinese medical doctors, the Ayurvedic medical doctors, the oldest system of medicine on the planet, Ayurveda, while we have let them say no to everybody else and maintain the king's chair for 100 years, chronic disease has escalated. Alzheimer's has skyrocketed. Autism has skyrocketed. Type 2 diabetes skyrocketed. Fibromyalgia skyrocketing. Everybody is sick all of the time. And why is everybody sick all of the time? Because the MDs are the wrong dog for the hunt. The MDs do not know how to help you maintain your health. They know how to manage your disease. And they do that very well at a nice profit. But they are not trained in healthcare. They are trained in disease management. We need healthcare. This is what we need in the world. And this is why people like Nadru in Southern California are so vitally important. Because the MDs have dropped the ball. There's only one Dr. Glidden, there's only one Dr. Wallach, but guess what? There are millions of motivated people in the world with a social conscience. Millions of people who put other people other than themselves first. Millions of people who think about the health and welfare of other people in their lives and who are willing to stand up to ridicule in the town square and say, you know what? I know a doctor who says you don't have to suffer with this. How about you come and listen to this radio program? How about you watch this webinar? I bet it's going to change your life. Let's go and talk to Tom in Illinois. Hey, Tom, thanks for the call. What's up?
Hey, Doctor, I've got actually two questions. The first one, both of them relate to the 10 deadly foods or no foods.
Yeah.
What do you think of red palm oil?
Oh, I think it'll kill you slowly. So here's the deal, man. Okay. Any oil that's in a bottle, oil has intrinsic value. There's intrinsic value. For instance, essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are essential for health. Your body needs them, but there are better and worse ways to import them into your body, right? From our point of view, any oil in a bottle will oxidize because you've got the oil that's in the bottle and you've got air that's also in the bottle, and the more of the oil you pour out, the more air is in the bottle. So it's only a matter of time until the oil oxidizes, and if you heat or cook with any oil, it oxidizes in about 10 minutes. And when you consume anything that's oxidized, you're increasing free radical damage to the body, and this is why we don't recommend any oil unless it's, vacuum packed in a nitrogenated bottle, and every time you use the oil, you suck out the air and stick it in the freezer in order to knock down the oxidative process. Nobody's going to do that. So it's much better from our point of view as far as the cost-benefit ratio, right? There are more costs to it than there are benefits. And if you're taking the EFAs as part of your nutritional program that we recommend, then all of your oil needs are met, and there's absolutely no reason to put those into your body.
Okay. Now, what would you suggest to be used as a salad dressing?
Well, that's a great question, man. We get this all the time, and it's a really good question because, right, I mean, we don't want people to be on rice and water and, no alcohol for the rest of their life. I mean, where's the fun in that? So right, there are workarounds for once you've eliminated the 10 bad foods, there are workarounds for adding stuff into your diet that actually tastes good and that, is fun to eat. So as far as the salad dressing thing goes, there's a couple things that you can do. You can get the ultimate EFAs by Youngevity. Ultimate EFAs. Or I'm sorry, it's called multi-EFAs. Multi-EFAs by Youngevity. It's plant oils. There's no fish oil in there. It's all plant oils. And you can pierce one of the gel caps with a pin, and you can squeeze that oil onto your salad and then put vinegar or whatever else you want, salt and pepper, cayenne pepper to make it taste good. You can use lemon juice, vinegar, any type of vinegar we're okay with. And interestingly enough, there are oil-free salad dressings that are popping up in health food stores now, which was an amazing thing for me I couldn't even conceptualize that, but guess what? Some of the more progressive health food stores or Whole Foods or places like that actually have oil-free salad dressings, and so you go into that, go there and see what you can find. And when you find one that tastes great, call us on the radio and talk about it.
Okay, fine, Doctor, and thank you very much for your radio show.
Tom, you're the greatest, man. I appreciate you, especially given the fact that you are listening from Illinois. Illinois, the great state of Illinois, fined yours truly $5,000 because I use the word doctor on my website. And if that doesn't just ruffle your feathers, I don't know what will. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician in the great city of Seattle. I'm able to prescribe drugs, perform minor surgery, deliver babies, call myself a physician legally, order any diagnostic test I want, work in hospitals, and it's all covered by insurance. But in the great state of Illinois, the only person that can refer to themselves as a doctor is someone with an MD after their name. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now to take your health back. I am the red pill. Pop out of the matrix. Just say no to ineffective, Machiavellian, ridiculous, mediocre MD treatments delivered to you for a profit, and educate yourself about the unseen, untold benefits of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. I remain your steadfast advocate for health. See you tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time, Worldwide Health Seminar, Men's Health. Until we meet in person, live long and prosper.